Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey, how's it going, guys? Josh Marsden here, host of the E-com Performance Marketing Show. So in today's episode, I'm going to go over something so invaluable that can really move the needle in your company, that's going to help you get better conversions and understand your market better than you do today. And let me just start with, I've consulted with many different business owners over the past 7.5 years now. And time again, this happens fairly frequently where I speak with a business owner and the business owner claims, I know my market so well. I know my market like no other. And they're super confident about it, to the point of even being a bit ego-driven about it. And that's fine, I get it, you know. And when I go through the process that I'm about to teach you in today's episode, and I show them the results, they are blown away. They're like, wow, I did not know that about my market. I did not know that about my audience. I did not know that about my perfect customer. And then they're able to take those findings and they're able to improve their messaging, improve their positioning, and also improve their offers, which leads to higher conversions and more sales and more results in their businesses. And this has happened time and time again over the past 7.5 years since I've been doing this. So what I'm talking about here is really something that can make a massive impact on your e-commerce business. And I see this too with e-commerce business owners specifically. I see a lot of struggles, especially when you are a young e-commerce business and you haven't hit 7 figures a year just yet. Part of the reason you haven't is because your messaging isn't dialed in, isn't specific to the people that are most attracted to what you sell in your business. And that's costing you a lot of sales. And so I'm going to show you in today's episode how you can use a deep dive survey, which is a specific survey that Ryan Levesque, he is a influencer in digital marketing. He is a great guy. I've mentored underneath him for a year, invested quite a bit of money to learn a lot from him directly. Very smart guy. He has essentially been teaching how to do deep dive surveys and quiz funnels for the past several years. And the deep dive survey, that first step in his process is what I'm going to go over with you today, because this is something that we do quite a bit with our agency clients when they start with us, because it helps us and them understand their market better than they did before working with us. And it helps us also perform at a higher level because we now have a deep understanding of their market and we know exactly what to say to them to get them to buy our clients' products. So I'm going to teach you that today. I'm going to teach you how to do a really good deep dive survey and how you can use that process to be able to truly understand your market so you can write better marketing messaging, better copy on your website, on your sales pages. This way you can get more people to convert and buy your products. So if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. So let's get excited, let's get fired up, and let's dive in to what it's going to take to create a really good deep dive survey, then how to use it, and then also how to use the outcomes that come from that deep dive survey. So let's dive in. All right, guys, so what you're looking at here on screen is a deep dive survey example and a template. And feel free to go ahead and pause this and copy it. Literally, I want you to take action from this. I want you to use this. That's why I do these episodes, because I really want to provide a massive impact to you. And if you go through this process, you'll understand your audience better than you ever thought you did. And it's going to make a big impact with the outcomes from this on your sales conversions and your bottom line sales in your business. And we're in business to make more sales, so you got to take action from this. So let me explain the deep dive survey here. So the deep dive survey is a survey process that, again, is going to help you deeply understand your market. And you want to really follow this order exactly. You want to really follow this template Don't try to divert from it. Don't try to be overly creative. Don't try to do your own thing. Don't be resistant. Just follow the process. I promise you, if you follow this process here and you use this exact structure in your deep dive survey, that you'll get the value that I'm speaking to that can make a big impact to the bottom line in your business. So the first question of a really good deep dive survey is a question that is aimed towards your customer avatar. Now, if you aren't familiar with what a customer avatar is, that is basically the profile of your perfect customer. And it's just one person. It's not an audience. It's one person. Like, who is that perfect customer in detail? Male, female, specific age, single or married? Do they have kids? Do they have college education? How much do they make a year? What do they typically do for a living? Things like that. And then you even break it down further, but that's your avatar. And you really want to nail that and think about that perfect customer as you're going through this process. And you want to do that, pro tip here, you want to do that with all of your marketing. All of your marketing should be catered around your perfect avatar, your perfect customer. This way you're very specific with your messaging and you're attracting the right person to your business that loves your products and will keep buying your products. Now, if you're a little gray on that, this will really help you, because the outcome of this is that you're going to be able to see a lot of data on your audience, and you're going to be able to see who your perfect customer really is and what type of people you truly attract to your business, demographically and psychographically. So demographically, that's age, marital status, children, you name it. Psychographics is all about understanding deeply who your audience is. And the deep dive survey will help you. So if you're a little gray on who your avatar is, then this will truly help you with that. But you still need to start with thinking about who you think, even if it's not right by the time you're done and your avatar changes quite a bit from the outcomes from the survey, you still want to think about your perfect customer and who you think that person is as you're going through this process. So the first question is, what is your number one challenge with blank? Whatever that is. But you always want to ask a challenge question to start the survey. And the reason why is because this is the most important question. This is the first question that you want to get that feedback on, because even if they bounce from the survey after that first question, you have that first question answered. And that first question's answers are going to be compiled after this process. So this way you can really figure out what segments of your market that you should focus on based off of their challenges, based off of their problems, and based off of their desires. And you'll get all that just from that first question. That's why that first question is so key. So you want to ask, what is your number one challenge with blank? Whatever that is pertaining to your business and the value proposition of your business and your product or products. So think about that, because every single business, no matter what they're selling, there's always a challenge or a problem or an experience that you are selling or you are solving. And so therefore, you can compile this question for your business no matter what type of business that you're in. And I'm here to support you too. So all you have to do is just click on the invite link below to join our e-commerce success group. And after this episode, just ask questions in the group about your single most important question, and I can give you some feedback in that group. So if you need help, just ask. But you can definitely do this. I know you can. Everybody can with their business, no matter what they're selling and who they serve. So that's the first question. The next few questions, the next three, ideally, more or less, are going to be demographic questions. And let me also just preface this by saying that you never want to go over about 6 or 7 questions in this survey. Now, the demographic questions, these are key demographic questions that are going to provide the most value to you. So ask questions not just for the sake of asking. Ask questions you feel like would help you with your marketing and with your business. So in this case, like if we were trying to sell, for example, products that help people lose weight for good, which is, as you can see from this survey, what this survey is focused on is trying to find out more about people that want to lose weight for good. So we're asking, how much weight are you looking to lose? What's your age? How many children do you have? Those are all relevant questions that we can really use in our targeting and our messaging in the future. So you want to think about the same thing for your business when you're forming those demographic questions, okay? And then after that, you want to go into open-ended questions. And there's a few different ways that you can handle this. But what we've seen working best in the past is you can ask questions like, in this case, have you tried losing weight before? And what was your most successful diet in this example? You could ask something like, have you purchased products like X, Y, and Z in the past? And how has that worked out for you? It could be a question like that. Or it could be, what type of outcome are you looking for by purchasing X, Y, and Z, for example. So this way you can really identify like what their motivations are, what their outcome goals are. Or you can identify what their previous experiences are and what came out of those previous experiences. Maybe they had obstacles or concerns, and that's what's holding the typical person in your audience back from following through with a purchase. And that's because they have previous experiences that they still think about that bothers them, and that's why they're hesitant and they're anxious about following through with purchasing your product. So you definitely want to ask questions like that in questions 5 and 6 and maybe 7. And again, like I said before, you never want to go over like 6 or 7 questions. This is a little bit more than what I said, but I just wanted to give you an example here. So here are some other questions that are great. In this example here, what is driving your desire to lose weight? Like I said before, what is driving your desire to purchase X, Y, and Z, or experience X, Y, and Z, or solve X, Y, and Z? Whatever is referencing your business more appropriately is what you want to go with. And then also I have a question here, what nutritional changes during the last 6 to 12 months have you made to help you improve your overall health? And this is where you're identifying what type of previous experience do you have, and how is that, how's that worked out? Is essentially what you're asking with that. So that's like I said before, that's a good example of a question that I recommend you ask to really identify, what type of prior experiences that they have had that could be causing them to be anxious and apprehensive about purchasing your product. And then finally, here's a money question. This is a great question. So if you have ideas for products, it doesn't matter what type of products they are, physical, digital, service, you name it. This last question before you ask for additional information, which I'll go over in a sec, this is a good product testing question. And you can use this in the survey. So you can ask an open-ended question, and you can also tell them you can choose more than one. And so this is where you can say, out of the 3 to 5 topics or 3 to 5 products below, which one would you find the most value in? And then you can give people 3 to 5 different answers with check boxes, and you can tell them you can choose more than one. And so now they're going to tell you which products or which services, whatever it is that you're testing, they're going to tell you which products or services that they would want to buy. Which is an awesome question, right? Because then you are making a decision off of data when it comes to adding to your product mix. And you do want to add to your product mix as an owner as much as possible, because the more products you have, the more opportunities you have to make money, especially if you create a solid ascension ladder, from flagship to upsell offers, downsell offers, and being able to do that by identifying which products or services that your audience would love to buy and get value out of is going to help you improve your value ladder. This way you can improve your average order value when people check out, and also your customer lifetime value, which are 2 key metrics. As I've said throughout this entire show since its beginning, those are 2 important metrics that are going to help you be able to grow your business and also do digital advertising effectively and profitably, especially when you start scaling, where average order value and customer lifetime value matters so much when you're spending, let's just say, $30,000 or more even per month. Those metrics matter so much. And then this last question here is, this is where you invite people to spend time with you. And this is going to be valuable for a few different reasons. For one, you're going to be able to create relationships with ideal prospects or customers. 2, you're going to be able to identify more feedback on what motivates them to purchase your product and be a part of your community. And then on top of that too, this is going to give you more data from your leads that come through this, because you're going to be asking for first name, email, and also optional phone number, which is going to improve a lot of your contact records and allow you to use SMS marketing in addition to email marketing. And you could take this to your existing audience, or you can take this to cold traffic, let's just say Facebook advertising, and people that don't know anything about you. And I'm going to go over how to implement this right after this. So this is an example of the last question. The last question, again, the purpose of this last question is to get people to step up and say, I do want to speak with you for a little bit, and I do want to spend time with you. However, I do recommend offering a bonus, because people love freebies, they love bonuses, and this is going to give them an additional incentive to take advantage of this offer in the last question of your survey. So here's an example. Would you like to sign up for insert the bonus and receive a call from our founder so he or she can find out more about your challenges and needs? Now you can change this a little bit. It doesn't have to be from the founder, but if you are a solo act, then by all means, say that they're going to be speaking with you. However, if you have a team, you could always say and receive a call from a team member so he or she can find out more about your challenges and needs. You could always say that as well. And then you have first name, email, and then optional phone number, okay? So this is how to create a really good deep dive survey that's going to yield a ton of qualitative data. That's a very sciencey term, but basically a lot of quality feedback about your market. This is data, but it's not number-based data. It's it's word-based data, so that's why it's qualitative. And this is really going to help you be able to really optimize and improve your marketing messaging, so you have better performance in your marketing. So definitely go through this, create this for yourself, so this way you have it. And then let me tell you how you can now use this with your existing audience, or you can take it to cold traffic as well, okay? Okay, now that you've created your deep dive survey and you followed that approach and you followed all my advice and you've used that template that I just showed you, now you have to invite your audience to take it. Now, if you have an audience, doesn't matter how big it is, do that. Always do that first. So if you have an email list, whether it's 2,000 or 200,000, if you have a social media following of 2,000 or 200,000, use that audience first and invite them to go through your deep dive survey. Now, you don't have to do this necessarily, but as I said before, I do recommend always using incentives to get people to take action. And so what I would recommend doing if you do have an audience and you want to have people go through your survey is send out a few emails, usually it's about 3. You can do posts on social media as well. You could even do a text message campaign possibly if you have enough cell phone numbers in your contact list. But basically do enough, like 2 to 3 messages on various mediums to get people to go through your survey, and if you want, you can offer them an incentive just for taking the survey. So that's on top of that last question that I just went over. That works really well, and it's going to get people to click, it's going to get people to start the survey, and it's also going to get people to finish the survey, especially if your marketing messaging says that in order to get X, Y, and Z, whatever that bonus is, you do have to complete the survey. So what I would recommend is make that bonus. If you do decide to do that, again, it's optional. If you have a very engaged audience, people are going to go through this without a bonus. However, if you don't really have an engaged audience, then you probably do want to consider using a bonus to get people to go through this survey process, okay? And you can use various softwares. You can use SurveyMonkey, you can use Google Forms even, you can use surveyfunnel.io, you can use bucket.io, so you can use any of those to be able to host this survey, create the survey, and then have people go through the survey. And all those softwares are great. They work great on mobile or desktop, and they're going to get people to go through the survey just on the tech alone. So I would recommend that you take that advice with your audience if you have an audience, and then run that, get that feedback, and look at that feedback and use that feedback. Now, if you don't have an audience, if you're a new business, then you're like, okay, so what do I do with this if I don't have an audience, right? Well, here's what you do. Now, this isn't free, so this isn't something you can do that you won't have to invest any money into. But one of the best things you can do is you can invest in data, because data helps you make better decisions. So if you don't have an audience, then what I would recommend you do is what I call a deep dive survey funnel. We've done this for years. It works very, very well. And you can use Facebook advertising to do this. And basically what you would do is you would create a simple funnel. So you would have a lead magnet on the first page, which is, this is like the incentive, this is a freebie, this is essentially what you're advertising and to get people to click from your Facebook ads. And this first page is gonna have that freebie, that lead magnet. It's gonna have to be a really good lead magnet. And if it is, you can get people, cold traffic that know nothing about you, to convert at 25 to 50%. Absolutely, no question about it. You just need to have a really good offer that appeals to the target audience. And you also have to have a really good message in the ads and also on the page to get people to convert, okay? So that's the first page. After they sign up and they submit their email address at minimum, then they go to a thank you page. And that thank you page should just say this. It's simple. It says, you know, congrats, you have, we just sent you X, Y, and Z, whatever that freebie is, to your email inbox. In the meantime, we'd love to hear more from you. And if you spend about 60 seconds with us right here, I will also give you X, Y, and Z. And this is where you're offering a bonus. You know, just like that bonus that I mentioned, if you did have an audience to get people to go through the survey, this could be the same thing, okay? And so that thank you page will be basically structured like that with that messaging. And then you would have the survey on the page where they can start that survey right away without clicking a button, going to another page, or any of that. It's right there embedded on the page. Now, if it's a good page with good messaging, it doesn't have to be perfect, and none of this has to be perfect, by the way. But if it's a good page with good messaging, a decent incentive, and you've got that survey right there on the page, you can expect people to convert at about 50% on that page. We've seen that in the past several years as we have created these deep dive survey funnels for our clients at my agency. So it works very well. And it's going to get you data from cold traffic from your audience that knows nothing about you, which is going to help you build your audience. It's going to help you improve your marketing foundation with your messaging. And also on top of that, it's going to be a good list builder too. And on top of that, you'll be able to possibly get people on the phone because of that last question on the survey, and you'll be able to sell them into your products or your services, and you'll just get a lot of valuable feedback that you can use to really create really good marketing messaging in your marketing, okay? So Facebook advertising is what I recommend as the traffic source. Facebook advertising can be super targeted, and it can be, and when you're doing content first, it can be really, really cheap as well. You can reach people, it varies from audience to audience, market to market, but you can reach basically about 1,000 people for about $5 to $12 with just content-based advertising. So if you have a really good post with really good content and a really good offer that gets people to click, and you're getting at 3% to 5% CTR, and that's what you want to aim for. And then from there, you'll be able to get cheap clicks to your deep dive survey funnel. They'll go to that first page. They'll see the offer that you advertised in your Facebook ads, and they'll go through it. They'll convert at about 25 to 50%, and then they'll go through the survey at 50%, and then you'll be able to build survey responses, and you'll be able to go through those survey responses once you've hit a substantial number. Okay, the last thing I'm going to tell you here is, what is that substantial number? Now, it doesn't matter which direction you go in, whether you have a new business with no audience or whether you do have an audience. I highly recommend that you try to get at least 250 quality responses. And there's a specific number there for a reason. And that reason is because then you have enough data to be able to crunch, do pivot tables on, do summaries, and really truly identify who is the most receptive to your products and your business and your brand and the value proposition that you provide. You'll be able to segment people. You'll be able to really have a lot of quality messaging that you can use from the survey feedback, and then you can essentially swipe and you can use in your copy, and you literally want to use their words in your messaging because you want to speak the way they speak, and you want to speak in a way with terms and verbiage and messaging that they care about. And that's why it's so valuable to swipe that messaging from your survey responses and use them in your marketing messaging, and that's going to lead to much better results in your business by taking action from this episode. Okay, so that's it. That is the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this valuable and you know other people in your network that would also find this valuable, go ahead and share it or send it over to people you know. I do the show to impact and help as many people as possible, and I'm on a mission to double e-commerce businesses and help change the lives of those e-commerce businesses and the owners of those businesses. So if you're driven, if you're focused, if you're hungry, and you're willing to put the work in, and you just need a blueprint, and you want to be able to get to your goal as fast as possible without wasting time or wasting money from advertising, for example, then I definitely recommend that you apply by clicking on the link below for my ARM5 Formula Accelerator. Here in the month of August 2020, I'm going to be taking on 5 new businesses in my accelerator, and by the time you're seeing this, it might already be filled, but if it isn't, go ahead and click apply either way, and this way you can at least find out more about the program. You can speak with me directly. You can see if it's a good fit for you. And then if you are a good fit for us, and I know that I can guarantee results because I do have a results guarantee or your money back, then I'll invite you into the program if we have spots open. And if we don't, then at some point in the future, I'll reach out again and I'll invite you. So go ahead and click on the link below if that is you. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to have a powerful episode for you later this week, and you're going to love it. Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.